We spend so much of our lives chasing something we don't fully understand. We want happiness, we crave it, we talk about it, we build entire industries around how to get it. But the irony is, the more we chase it, the further it seems to run. We say, "I'll be happy when I get the job," or "I'll be happy when I find love," or "when I make this amount of money," or "lose this amount of weight," or "live in that house," or "drive that car." But here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Happiness doesn't live on the other side of achievement. It doesn't sit patiently at the finish line, waiting to greet you with open arms when you finally accomplish your goals. I knew someone who built a life that looked perfect from the outside: big title, high salary, a calendar filled with meetings and milestones, but every night they sat in silence, asking themselves a question they were too afraid to answer: why do I feel empty? Not because something was missing, but because too much was there that didn't belong. We think of happiness as a destination, something we arrive at after we've done enough, but happiness isn't a reward for productivity. It's not a badge for good behavior, it's not an end point. It's a byproduct, a side effect, not of chasing but of clearing. We don't find happiness by adding more. We find it by removing what blocks it. By stepping back, by releasing, by making space, by cutting the weight we didn't realize we were carrying. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence and simply felt peace? Not because something amazing just happened. Not because you just got good news, but because you were free of noise, free of stress, free of fear. We don't need more to feel that. We need less. But we live in a world that whispers, "You're one step away." One step from success. One step from love. One step from being good enough. And so we chase, we hustle, we climb, but deep down we're exhausted. Not because we're lazy, because we're solving the wrong problem. Happiness doesn't require you to become someone new. It asks you to unbecome everything that was never truly you. The expectations you didn't choose, the beliefs that don't serve you, the habits that keep you small. It's not a new layer you put on. It's what shows up when you take the unnecessary layers off. There are people who seem lighter, not because life is easy for them, but because they've made peace with what they can't control. They've stopped carrying what was never theirs. They've stopped performing and started clearing. When was the last time you asked yourself, "What am I holding on to that's costing me peace? What story am I believing that no longer fits who I am? What pain am I avoiding that keeps returning in silence?" Because here's the thing, most unhappiness doesn't come from what's missing. It comes from what's present that doesn't belong. That one voice in your head telling you you're not enough, that's not truth. That's programming. We inherited definitions of love, of success, of worthiness. But did we ever stop and ask, who wrote that story, and do I still believe it? The real work isn't chasing happiness. It's questioning the assumptions that told you had to. It's interrogating the roles you've been playing. Roles you never auditioned for but learned to perform. When we stop running from pain and start getting curious about it, something changes. We learn that not all suffering is necessary. Some of it is optional. We stay in places we've outgrown. We grip what needs to be let go. We resist what simply is. And when we finally release it, when we stop trying so hard to hold it all together, something else shows up. Space, lightness, relief, that's not coincidence. That's what it feels like when unhappiness leaves. It's not about pretending things are fine or forcing gratitude. It's about asking honestly, gently, what needs to be heard. What is this discomfort trying to teach me? Sometimes unhappiness shows up like a whisper, other times like a roar, but it's always a signal. Something's misaligned, something isn't true anymore, something wants your attention. Do we have the courage to listen? It's easier to numb, scroll, shop, stay busy, because stillness invites discomfort, but stillness also offers clarity, and clarity gives us power. We can't erase every form of unhappiness. But we can stop adding to it. We can stop agreeing to things that drain us, stop seeking approval from people who won't give it, Stop wearing masks to fit in rooms we've outgrown. We can choose honesty over performance. Simplicity over chaos, presence over distraction, stillness over stimulation, integrity over image. You don't need a new life. You need a lighter one. One that doesn't depend on performance. One that doesn't exhaust you into numbness. You don't need more affirmation. You need less self-betrayal. You need to stop explaining your choices to people committed to misunderstanding them. You don't need to be more liked. You need to be more aligned. And alignment doesn't always look impressive from the outside. Sometimes it looks like slowing down. Sometimes it looks like saying no. Alignment isn't a destination. It's a practice. In the pause before a reaction. In the quiet no instead of the loud yes. In the boundaries we choose not to break. You're not responsible for everything that happened to you, but you are responsible for how long you let it define you. Removing unhappiness doesn't require drama. Sometimes it looks like forgiveness or silence or walking away. It feels like an exhale you didn't know you were holding. We confuse happiness with intensity, with fireworks and fanfare, but often it's quiet, still, subtle. It's looking in the mirror and finally not needing to fix what you see. You don't need to light up every room. You just need to stop dimming your own. You don't need to win every battle. You just need to stop fighting yourself. You don't need all the answers. You just need to stop pretending you're okay when you're not. What makes life beautiful isn't perfection. It's presence, but we can't be present if we're at war with ourselves. Chasing happiness often means avoiding what hurts. But when we face it, name it, understand it, we loosen its grip. We invite in compassion. We restore our sense of self. You are not broken. You are buried beneath stories, expectations, fears. The goal isn't to rebuild. It's to uncover, to unlearn, to remove the noise and remember your truth. Like a backpack filled with rocks, we're told to run faster, but maybe we just need to put the bag down. You don't need more motivation. You need less weight. The happiest people aren't the ones who carry the most. They're the ones who learned what to set down. I once met a woman who had walked away from a six-figure job to live in a small cabin by the woods. Everyone thought she was crazy. She said she'd never been more sane. Her peace wasn't bought. It was chosen. I know a father who chose to cut back his hours, not to get ahead, but to be home by dinner. His promotion faded, but his daughter's joy didn't. We don't measure alignment in titles. We measure it in peace. I know a man who stopped dating for approval and started healing for himself. He said the silence taught him more about love than any relationship ever had. It's not about chasing. It's about noticing what feels light, what feels real, what feels like home in your own skin. Removing unhappiness isn't a grand gesture. It's 1,000 small ones. It's choosing the quiet truth over the loud lie. It's knowing the difference between pushing through and letting go. It might mean redefining success, not as status, but as inner stillness, not as applause, but as self-trust. It might mean disappointing others in order to not abandon yourself. It might mean doing less, slowing down, breathing more. Sometimes we think we need to transform, but maybe we just need to return to who we were before the world told us who to be. So instead of asking, what do I need to add to my life to be happy, ask, what do I need to release? Is it the need to control everything? Is it the voice in your head telling you you're not enough? Is it the habit of comparison? The fear of rejection, the pressure to perform? Start small, start quiet. Start where you are. Clean one drawer, say no once, take one breath before responding. Unfollow one person who makes you feel less than. Turn off one notification. Write one thing you're grateful for. Speak one truth out loud, because happiness isn't a finish line, it's a foundation, and every time you remove what doesn't serve you, you lay another brick. The irony is, the less you chase happiness, the more it finds you. In the ordinary, in the silence, in the moment you stop pretending and start aligning. You'll know you're getting close when your life starts to feel lighter, when you stop trying so hard, when you laugh more easily, when you feel at home in your own body, when you look in the mirror and don't see someone who's perfect, but someone who's honest, someone who's free.